I unfortunately forgot to film an intro, so let's just jump right into this first impression and smoky eye look. I'm going to start out as usual priming my eyelids, and I'm using MAC's Painterly Paint Pot. I'm seriously like running really low on this. As a transition, I'm actually going to use a bronzer. This is Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and I'm just going to swirl my blending brush in there and blend that right into my crease. I like to use a bronzer sometimes as the transition color because I kind of just feel like it helps match like the tone and the contours of my skin. And it's just also sometimes the perfect light brown that will help out blend the darker colors. And now I'm going to go in with my Lorac Pro palette. I'm going to go in with a bit of a darker brown. I'm taking the shade Taupe in this palette. I kept it on a small portion of the brush and I'm just putting it tighter into my crease. I'm not being so messy with this. I'm being a little bit more precise. Now that I'm done blending Taupe into my crease, I'm going to deepen it up even more with Espresso from the Lorac Pro palette. I picked that up on an even smaller blending brush so I can get really tight in there. I'm kind of just packing that in there on my crease. And then I'm going to take the fluffier blending brush and really just blend that out. Now I'm getting extremely dark and I'm picking up black from the Lorac Pro palette on a pencil brush. I'm just taking a little dot of that, tapping it off to get off any excess. I'm gonna push that into the outer corner, not in a V shape, but more in like a rounder shape. I'm gonna blend it a little bit onto the eyelid and then try to blend a tiny bit with that pencil brush as well, so there are no harsh lines. Then I'm going to do the same exact thing on the other eye. Just really focus on the shape of the crease, the natural crease of your eye. And I like to blend downwards a bit onto the lid. And then work my way upwards towards the brow. Then I'm going to go back with that smaller blending brush and really just blend out everything once again on both eyelids. Now everything is pretty much blended out to my liking. I am going to grab the color that I'm putting on my lid. It's ColourPop's Shameless Eyeshadow, and it is a beautiful it's a very dark turquoise. It's kind of a black eyeshadow but with turquoise and green sort of shimmers in it. So I like to just pick some of that up on my finger and then place it right on my lid. I'm taking that little pencil brush that I was using before and I'm just trying to blend that inner tear duct area out as much as I can so that way there are no harsh lines. Then I'm going to go ahead and do the same exact thing on the other eyelid. Back in with that pencil brush to blend everything out. So as of right now, I'm going to pause on the eyes and then move on to the rest of my face. I like to start out with some primer, and today I'm using my Smashbox Hydrating Photo Finish Primer, which I love so much. As promised in the title video, I'm doing a first impression on the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Foundation. Now, I have not tried the Pro Matte one just because I typically don't like matte foundations, but I definitely wanted to do a review on this one. I have this shade 205 Natural Beige, and this actually might be a little too dark for me right now, but we're just going to blend it into my neck and hopefully all goes well. So, ooh, that came out fast. So I'm just going to put some of it on my hand. I'm blending this foundation in with a Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. This is my all-time favorite foundation brush. It could make the worst foundation look good, I swear. So I'm just going to kind of dot that all over my skin. I like to dab this on first and then blend it out in little circular motions. Wow, I had some acne going on over here and it covered it right up, and that was like not even a whole pump. But it is a little bit tan for me, but I actually kind of like it because it brings some color to my skin, which is nice. It feels nice. It's not like a thick foundation. It doesn't feel like wet and dewy, but it looks nice and natural so far. The coverage seems really great so far. I feel like I can get a little more coverage in these areas, which typically have more redness on my skin. But the acne right here that I had, it was looking kind of like spotty. I don't know if you guys noticed before, but it covered it up really well, and I didn't use like a lot of foundation. But I'm just going to go in with a little bit more because I want to see if I can get a really full coverage from this. I'm going to go over in certain areas. Mostly on my cheeks because that's where I feel like I like the most coverage. This is definitely a medium to full coverage kind of foundation. It doesn't look like it's wet. It definitely has a nice glow to it, but it doesn't like feel sticky either, which is so great because I tried out the Milani foundation and I have that review, you guys can go see it, but it felt so wet and sticky on my skin, and that honestly stops me from using it because I don't like to feel like there's a lot of heavy things on my skin. So I'm going to do a little bit of cream contouring, and I'm using the CoverGirl Queen Collection Natural Hue in the shade Q715 to contour my face. This is just a very dark foundation, but I really like the lightweight texture and feeling of it, so I use it to contour a lot. Once that's on my skin, I take my e.l.f. small stippling brush, spray it with some Smashbox primer water, and kind of fan it out a bit, and then I just go ahead and blend that out with this brush. This is my all-time favorite brush to blend out any cream contouring that I'm doing, because it's small enough to fit into these small places on my face, and I don't know, it's just the perfect brush for it. After that, I'm going to place some blush on my cheeks. Of course, I'm using Milani's Luminoso blush. I'm using Milani's Luminoso blush, and you guys, help me find a new blush because I just can't get over this one. I've tried a few different blushes, but I always find myself going back to this one, and then I get kind of bored. I'm like, why don't I have other blushes? And then I realize it's because I literally use the same one every single time. For bronzer, I'm using Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer on a Real Techniques contour brush. I just circle that around the bronzer and place that right over that cream contour that I had. I don't like to use too much when I'm doing a cream or foundation contour just because I feel like there's already enough on my face. Oh my god. You guys, I completely forgot about concealer and I put on my blush and my bronzer. What is wrong with me? Concealer's my favorite part. How could I forget that? It's okay. I'm just going to put some concealer right over this. Is that okay? I hope so. And I'm over here like, why does my face look so dark? So I'm using MAC Select Cover Up Concealer and putting that on my hand. And then I'm going to pick it up with an e.l.f. Flawless Concealer brush. And I'm going to place that under my eyes. I know, I should not have placed blush on before this, but stuff happens, you know? I guess because I also haven't filmed a video in a while, that I'm like, what am I doing? Stick with me. I promise this will turn out good. I promise. To fill in my eyebrows, I'm just using a dark brown eyeshadow. And I'm going to slightly shape them a bit. Highlight, I'm using MAC's Soft and Gentle, and I'm just placing that on the high points of my cheeks, of course. I sometimes like to do my nose with my finger just to get it really precise on there. Now I'm going to go ahead and set under my eyes and a little bit around my face with RCMA No Color Powder. I love this stuff. I am using NYX Tres Jolie eyeliner to line my eyes. This is in a brown shade. So I'm liking how that looks, but I am going to dark it up with a tiny bit of espresso from that same Lorac Pro palette, and I'm just pushing it here closer to my waterline. For this look, I'm actually going to skip a winged eyeliner and I'm just going to go straight in with eyelashes just because I kind of want to keep that rounded effect. I don't want to make it too cat eye-like. I'm using Elite Lashes in number 18, so I'm just going to apply those really quick. Okay, lashes are on. Now I'm just going to go ahead and put some mascara on my bottom lashes. I'm using L'Oreal's Voluminous. I'm using L'Oreal's Voluminous Carbon Black Mascara just to place a little bit on my bottom lashes. Now I'm picking up my Naked Basics palette and I'm taking the one shimmery color called Venus in the palette on a flat shader brush, and I'm just using that to highlight the inner tear duct. Now I can move on to my lips. I'm using what is left of my little baby NYX lip liner. This is in the shade Natural. I am taking my favorite NYX Lingerie liquid lipstick in the shade Lace Detail. This is such a pretty nude color. Kind of like a pinkish nude. I really love it, but I do sort of want to bring a little bit of gloss to this look. So I'm taking my Makeup Forever lip gloss. This is in the shade 100P. I believe that's the shade of this. This is just a little sample that I got, but it's so pretty. I love it. It's sort of like a tan nude color, so this one's looking kind of pink. So I kind of just want to make it a little bit more tan looking. That is it for this look. I really hope you guys enjoyed this super dramatic look. Oh, I did want to kind of wrap up my thoughts on this foundation. I absolutely love it. I know it says it's a Pro Glow foundation, but I don't necessarily think it has a dewy finish. I did set this with RCMA No Color Powder, but even before that, it didn't really have like a dewy sort of look to it. It is almost more of a satin finish. It does say that it's a 24-hour foundation, so I can update you in my next video whether it lasts really long or not, because I'm definitely going to be using this throughout the week. But the coverage was amazing in this foundation. Like, it had really medium to full coverage, so if you're looking for something that will really just cover everything on your face, this is really good for you. And it creates such a good satin skin-like finish, but it's not that kind of wet or dewy look, which personally I like. First impression is really great. I can update you guys on what I think further into the week in my next video. So comment down below if you want me to do that, and I can definitely get that out for you guys. Don't forget to subscribe either. Click that subscribe button down below because I do appreciate it so much. I love you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.